everyone, today I'm going to give you some tips on how to peer review your peer's essay, which is what you will be doing this week for the assignment. Hopefully you will find this helpful because sometimes we're not sure what we're supposed to do when it comes to peer reviewing their essays. So let's go ahead and get started. What is a peer review? When you're peer reviewing somebody else's work, what you're doing is you're seeing that work from your own perspective, which is important. When we work on our own assignments a long time, we tend to blend ideas together and blur errors that might need fixing. When somebody else looks at it, they could explain to us how they're seeing it, which is exactly why you are doing a peer review, to help your peer understand the essay better. And as you do the peer review, keep in mind that you should be kind yet honest in the process. In other words, if you know that your peer did the assignment wrong, don't tell them you're an idiot. Instead, refer to them to the assignment prompt so that they have a better clarification on what they need to do. What should you do in a peer? Who should do a peer review? You should be your peers, which in this case, that's exactly what you'll be doing. I'm also doing a peer review of your outline, which is why I ask you to turn an outline. You could also get peer review from tutors at the Writing Lab. Even though we are online, you can definitely make appointments with them at the Success Center. Also, friends, as long as somebody who has the same level of education or who can read your writing, they should be able to help you. And if you have a significant other, that individual can also give you some feedback on how to improve your essay. The types of feedback that you should give, there are two main types that you should give. There is specific feedback, and then there's overall feedback. What you want to comment on is the thesis statement. Number one, do they have one? Number two, does it address the prompt? Does it answer the question? Are there topic sentences in each of the paragraphs? The organization, do they have an introduction? Do they have body paragraphs? And do they have a conclusion? As far as other feedback that's more specific, give feedback in terms of the syntax, the sentence structure, grammar, are there punctuation and spelling errors? And then, of course, for this class, don't forget to give them feedback in terms of MLA format, which is pretty basic, but you should have a pretty good understanding of what that entails at this point. As far as the overall feedback, you should ask yourself as you are reading your peer's essay, does it make sense? How does it sound? In other words, is it confusing? Does it seem like ideas are out of place? And also, what do you think about the essay itself? Why does peer review work? Something to keep in mind is that you don't do just peer review in English classes. If you are working, for example, in engineering, I know this from personal experience, you will have somebody else review your work and you will be reviewing somebody else's work. There are just about every type of field that you can imagine in which you will be conducting peer review. So the reason why it works is because we see our writing through another person. Again, ideas that make sense to us might not make sense to somebody else, so that's an indication to us that we need to clarify points. We also see how others write, which can help us. We can get ideas from them. It doesn't mean plagiarize their ideas, but we can see how they structure a particular paragraph, how they used a hook in their intro, how they wrote a conclusion. So it can be helpful in that regard. We also see other strengths and weaknesses. We can see what somebody else's work looks like in regards to good sentence structure. Maybe you can assess whether your thesis statement is better or needs more work compared to theirs. We also see new ideas and ways of explaining concepts by looking at somebody else's work. If somebody did a really good job with, let's say, an intro, they used a hook, they really expanded the idea, they explained it before they presented the thesis, that can help us, and maybe we can model that idea as we do our own work. We also learn to look at our own writing in a different way, because once we get the feedback from our peer, we are better able to see what needs work and what we could do to make our writing better. So what kinds of comments should you make? As you're peer reviewing your peer's paper, write an X on any parts that are confused, or you can write a question mark. You can ask the writer to explain their idea, something like, this doesn't make sense, could you expand, or what does this mean? Ask the writer to state a thesis clearly if you are not sure that they have one. Make sure that the prompt is answered. That is the key. Don't answer anything that's not being asked in the prompt. It should just simply answer the prompt clearly. Ask the writer to state the question to the thesis. So in other words, your thesis is simply just the answer to the question. And the way that you can do, you can check to make sure that you answer the right question is you can state your thesis in the form of a question, and that should be the same question as the prompt. That is a good indication that you have answered the prompt correctly. You can help your peer by providing tips to improve the essay. Again, they have to be positive and constructive. You can ask so what questions. In other words, what does the sentence have to do with the thesis? How does paragraph tie or have to do with the topic? You can also bring up other perspectives, something like, have you considered this? Or offer more examples or details. Consider offering an example here, or what about this idea? Types of comments that you should avoid. Ambiguity. Any comments that says good job or nice or I like this. Yes, your peer can understand those words, but they don't know what that means. So instead of writing something like that, be specific. Good job on your thesis. It's clear. It answers the prompt well. Nice use of details in this paragraph. I like this. Again, it doesn't say anything. You can only use I like this once, as long as you provide an example as to, or an expansion as to why you like that. Don't write criticism. Your job is to help your peer improve their writing, not to criticize them. So don't say, I can't believe you, blah, blah, blah. Don't write anything that's negative. This is wrong. As far as disagreements, I disagree with you 100%. It's not a debate, so it's not your job to disagree or agree with that individual. Just help them improve the writing. As far as arguments, don't tell them, oh, my point of view is better than yours, or you're an idiot for thinking this way. Your job is not to change the other person's mind on a particular topic. It's just simply to help them improve the writing. Don't deny the writer to state his or her opinion. And by that, we just simply mean let the person write what they want to write. Don't tell them, don't write this because it's dumb. That's not your job. Help them improve the paper. That's it. And don't tell the reader how to think. The reader will know for a fact whether you're disagreeing with, you may or may not disagree with that individual, and that's okay, but it's not your job to change that other person's mind at all. Some comments that you should make: excellent job on this. This example was spot on because of this. Or what if you wrote this instead of this? Have you thought about this? So any of these sentences are good to help you make comments on your peer's paper. But whatever you do, don't just simply give a review that states, I agree with you, I went through something similar. It's not a review in the sense that like you're reviewing a movie. You are reviewing your peer's paper to help them improve their writing. So keep these comments in mind. That can help you structure positive feedbacks to give your peer. Final checklist: be honest but kind. Treat others as you would want to be treated. Focus on global issues. In other words, focus on thesis, topic, sentences, and organizations. Don't focus on correcting every little mistake. Spend the time that you want your peer to spend on your paper. Sometimes I get students who get frustrated and they said, I got no feedback from my peer. Be nice. Keep in mind that this is a constructive and a joint effort. So give the paper the time that it deserves. Don't criticize the writer. You're giving feedback on the ideas, not the person. Provide overall comments instead of correcting every grammatical error. And if you don't want the paper, if you wouldn't want to read a comment on your paper, don't write it on theirs. Focus on improving the writing, not the writer, and provide specific comments. Nothing like, I like this, good job, or yay. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I look forward to reading your comments in the next draft. Bye.